paradigm of how government is being done federally. With Donald Trump, many people could criticize him. Many people are telling him that he's crazy. Mucha gente está diciendo que él está loco, que el tipo le patinan las cuerdas. Todo lo negativo que pueden decir. Anything negative that they can say to Donald Trump. Okay. If you don't like the guy, you don't like the guy. But this negative campaigning, esta campaña de negatividad, de querer postergar el progreso de los Estados Unidos they want to domesticate Donald Trump. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Donald Trump, first of all, is from New York. He's going to do things his way. He's going to do his things the smart way. But there are two things that people that are criticizing him, these are the same people. We have to remember, de la boca del lobo, de donde estas palabras están saliendo, where the words from the wolves that are emitting these words. One, these are the same people that said, hell no, Trump won't win the presidency of the United States. Hell no, he's not a serious candidate to be taken seriously. And I'm talking to people from the establishment of the Republican Party because he has shaken the Republican Party. Fair and simple. There's no lies. I'm not saying anything to say, ese tipo es de Trump, es un vendido. Mira, I could show you my bank account. Trump hasn't deposited any money in my bank account. The pragmatic thing is that if you study the way he became the candidate, the way he ran his campaign, the way he became president, is a blueprint for anybody running for a elected position. If I'm lying, si estoy diciendo mentira, que me tiren a medio, throw me in the middle. And Scotland's here. If I'm lying, she's gonna be the first one to slap me in the face. That's why she's the co-host, because she will put me in the straight path. But I know the truth. Listen to me. Listen to us. Listen to me. The people that want to bash Trump have no foundation. Their only commitment, su único cometido, es de decirle, el tipo está loco, el tipo es un antisexual, el tipo es un racista. He's not a racist. He has Jewish kids. You know, I don't want to sound racist, but, you know, he has studied in the best universities that money could buy. Yes. What father does not want the best education for their siblings and their kids? The guy has a multi-billion-dollar business, but he's crazy. He has the best reality show in history, but he's crazy. He ran for president for the first time, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, one, and he won, but he's crazy. So está loco si se echaba, está loco si no se echaba. These people that call themselves Americans, that they love America, is lacking one thing. Le falta una cosa a aquellas personas que dicen que aman América, que quieren que resuelva, pero el tipo está loco. Yo me pongo apasionado. Yo no soy una persona violenta. I get passionate. I'm not a violent person. But it's really stupid to see these people asininely assert the mental health of a president of the United States when they have not won anything. They have not predicted anything correctly. Everything that happened that they were saying was wrong, false, or full of lies. The president didn't meet with a reporter of the book for 3 hours. Se lo inventó. Oh no, now he changed it. It was that I met with him 3 minutes, and then 1 year I met him with 3 minutes, and then I met him with 3 minutes more, and then lo juntó todo, and then I met him for about an hour. And this same author has been discredited. Mi gente, el que esté corriendo para puesto político, si no toma las lecciones del presidente Trump, no van a salir. My dear fellow candidates, if you want the blueprint to win in any elections, 1, you have to connect with the people. 2, you have to find venues where you can pack it up, even if it's with 20 people, aunque sean 20 pelagatos, pero 20 personas que te escuchen. Escuchen tu mensaje. And you do like what President Trump did. You ask him to take a pledge. You pledge at this moment to vote for X or Y candidate for this position. And as national chairman of the Hispanic Republican Organization, I tell Gina that that's what she has to do. She has to connect with the people. She has to make meetings. She has to make sure she gets commitments from those people that go to those meetings. I will vote for Gina for District 3. 4. Sorry, 3 is the other guy. See, she's alive.
I'm 3.
Guz is 3. That's 4, that's 3. So, and that's how you win. That's my monologue today. I'm sticking to my truth. Listen to me, because I'm not telling you lies. I'm telling you the truth. There is a blueprint. Remember, Ponce, Ponce, el resto es parking. That's why I'm broadcasting straight from the parking lot. Orlando, Florida. No, Orlando's a very beautiful city. Oh, I gotta flip it. Magic trick. Whoopee. But anyway, that's things that happens in the live program show, and we do like to do things a little bit lighthearted. But Scotland, it is an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
And we are going to move in 2018 to very interesting things. There's so many things. There's the race for District 4. There's the race for District 3. There's the mayor's race. There's the gubernatorial race. I feel like, like I was watching the football game between Alabama and Georgia. Woo. I feel like this game is the same thing. Politics to me is like that. But politics is to you too like that. Yeah, it's like a good game. Yes.
I just got one little correction for you.
Uh-huh.
All right. Officially, there is no race for District 3 yet.
It's in
2020.
It's in 2020, and we are waiting for Pete Clark to resign
mm-hmm.
because we know he's going to run for mayor, and he has until June to resign. And at that point, I suspect they will announce the special election for August.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, once they announce it for August, the two top runners, the two top candidates with the most votes, then they go on a runoff in November.
Okay.
So that's unofficially a race pending for District 3. Just a small correction.
How would that work? Didn't he put his name in for mayor?
He has until June to officially qualify.
June to officially qualify.
Yes.
Okay. So, but that race technically will be in 2020, right?
Our race technically right now, because he has 2 years left on his term, is in 2020.
2020. All right.
So he's really gambling 2 years of his term, but I suspect he is going to be our next mayor.
Good. Because we are going to fight. We're going to fight tooth and nail for him.
And I only say that because the man goes to every event.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter your nationality, your creed, your race. He's at every event.
Yeah.
I have yet to see some candidates at any of our events or any Hispanic events I've been to. So
actually,
sure.
he's taking the advice of the Hispanic Republican Organization and your advice, because I know that between you and I, we've always told him he has to keep on getting this engagement with the people out there, and at least he's taking that advice.
And I really met him when he was first running for commissioner on another radio show. Actually, it was a TV show. Yeah, Danny Rivera's TV show.
Oh yeah, Danny.
That's where I first met Pete Clark when he was campaigning for his first term, and I really liked the guy then, because he's down to earth. A lot of people, not everybody can like you. Not everybody likes me, believe that or not. Yeah, but you're married to me.
You have to say that.
You like them, you love them, you want them, you have them.
and so, we're not everybody's cup of tea, but the important thing is, are we serving the community? And you ask me about questions, that's the question to ask. Are you serving the community? What have you done for me lately? Yep. And if you are not doing anything except self-promoting or party promoting, then you don't really care about the people. You care about the party, you care about politics, you care about your personal agenda, but you don't care about the people.
And I feel that that's again, not that I want to be a Trump fanatic, but the thing of it is that Trump gave us the tools to be able to beat any other candidate. And he, since the beginning, said he wanted to be the president of the United States because he wanted to be the champions of the people of the United States. In reality, politicians that connect with the people start mini populist revolutions. And I say revolution in the good word because the United States was involved in its own revolution, but it was to avoid excessive taxation without representation from the British. So even in Orange County, we need to have that contact from our candidates to be able to be in the people, with the people, the community, like what you're doing, Gus, what you're doing, Gina, and basically connect with them. Because if you don't get the pulse of what the community really needs, how can you do your job? It's like Scotland was telling me a little while ago. If you self-promote, if you only say, oh, I've done, or if Donald Trump only said, well, yeah, I only did a big business, I only had a reality show. But the thing of it is that he did, through his businesses and through his reality shows, he helped the community where he was. You know, anybody that saw his reality shows, he donated thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars through the different variety of shows and the reality shows to different organizations, non-profit organizations, and it was not necessarily the ones he was in agreement with. He brought other people in, and he says, "I want to know who you," and that's where we're going to give the money to. One of the good things that you do, Gus, is that you want to try and solve the problem of homelessness. You want to try and in the past show we had a gentleman who phoned in, and he's a consultant. He knows you from homelessness, and he gave me one of the questions. He asked that we have to strengthen Florida First or Home First. Do you know that program?
You're talking about Thomas Redman.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Thomas Redman accomplished one thing that wasn't being done. Mm-hmm, all right. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Thomas Redman dragged the homeless issue in the face of the politicians. Mm-hmm. All right, because it was right in their face, but they were easily ignoring it. Now Thomas Redman, he put it out there and he dragged it in their face. Not only here in Orlando, he went to several cities in Florida and other states, and so everybody kind of like frowned at him because nobody likes their garbage messed or mushed in their face.
No, especially here in Orlando.
And a lot of people dismiss Thomas Redman as a lunatic. All right, why? Because on several occasions he went homeless intentionally. Yeah. And that was something I was planning on doing, but I said no, that would be too crazy of me because I got children and all of that. Mm-hmm. And Paloma would
trust me, he dressed like him sometimes.
This is before Paloma, and so I applaud him for what he did. And yes, up to a point, I believe in housing first, but it can't be just housing first, because you have to change the pattern of a person who's become institutionalized in the streets. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right. So now you have a greater majority of homeless people who are professional homeless. And while I extend my services to them, I don't really focus on them. I focus on the people who really need the help. The people who really just want to get out and get back into society. Because the whole idea of helping the homeless population is to reintegrate them into society so that they can contribute to the tax base, mm-hmm. to become contributive members of our community and not a problem, right? The problem is they've been making it unlawful to be homeless and to be poor. And instead of investing, like Tom would say, investing into the homeless situation, which is cheaper, providing them a home, providing them medical, because I don't know if you know, we spend way too much money in the homeless issue when it comes to courts and hospitals, mm-hmm. you know, yeah. But that's not the only thing we do. You know that we started off with the homeless, but we have grown into so much more. We started off with the homeless, then we went to teach them to fish. We went to prom and graduation closet, mm-hmm. and now with my wife, we've added changing rooms, and changing rooms been in what 9 countries. Tell us about what 9 countries we're in, real quick.
we just acquired Cuba. That was one of the pioneer countries that we wanted to get to. Haiti, Santo Domingo, Venezuela. We have Colombia. We have 9 countries right now that we're sending provisions through our beautiful angels.
So you see, we're not really just doing homelessness. We have grown into so much more in helping the community. And I've been serving on the Orange County Commission on Aging since 2015. So, we're all over the place helping the community. If serving was my full-time job, I'd be all right. But it's not my full-time job. I got to go to work and pay the bills and do it from my desk. So, yes. We definitely need leaders who love the community.
Exactly.
We need people who, what are you doing for the community? Never mind for your party, because we got people so programmed to parties, man, that they don't even look at who they're voting for.
Listen, it's simple. Let's commit all these politicians to come to changing rooms one day, and come and process provisions to give to the community. I dare all these politicians that are running for anything to come to changing rooms and help us process the clothing and process the food and process our homeless bags and work for the community and go out there and give it to these people with us, with changing rooms and lots of help. How about that?
I missed you, Paloma. Where were you?
Let's do it. They say that they want to work the community. Let's see them work in the community. And as simple as...
It's not going to happen, honey. Honey, how many politicians were at Saturday's Three Kings tonight?
Well,
many of them
let's give them an opportunity. The thing that we say is, like, in unity there is strength, and everybody else is saying that.
Right, but they're not gonna go. They're not gonna go and roll up their sleeves.
They better go.
There was at least half a dozen politicians or candidates at this event Saturday, and not one of them was working. I'm sorry, one was inside working. The other one was outside smiling and taking pictures, and that was me. And I was dressed up as one of the three
kings. Yes, but baby,
kings.
I was slaving for you. I was taking over.
That is a good question, Paloma. Thank you so much. Scotland, you have a very good. You did a poll, or there was a poll done. Where were these numbers pulled out, if you don't mind me asking?
So they were pulled out on Instagram. I went on to my 1,000 followers, and I asked them to answer a couple questions. Now, not all of them answered. I probably had about 150 to 160 answer. But one of the main questions I had was, first I introduced it, and I said, for your local officials, elected officials, I'm going to post a whole bunch of pictures, and I want you to vote from the following subjects. And one of them was, do you want someone who serves their community? And 93% of the voters said yes. 17% said no.
So there was how many said no?
73% said no.
What are you thinking about? That 7%.
93% said yes. 7% said no.
7%. Okay. 7%.
I don't know. That's 7%.
Yeah. I was like,
they're lost somewhere.
They're lost in cyberspace.
Those 7% were probably the politicians.
I know. They were like, no, I don't want this. How do I delete this? But the thing of it is that 93%, you can't go wrong with and again, this is not a scientific poll, but it gives you at least a pulse of what people are thinking out there. And especially it's the youth, the millennials that are using social media. It takes a little bit of us, the baby boomers that were born in 63, 62, 61,
64.
A little bit, the younger ones. 50, 40, those
but
with hair,
then,
without hair.
Even then, people your age are using social media. You use social media.
Yes,
I believe every politician should, whether their assistant or them, should be using this. And either it's weekly or monthly, they should be doing polls like this. Because either you're in the community, like Gus and like Gina, or you're going to be lazy and go through social media. But either way, you need to find out what your community wants and what your community needs. Because if you're just sitting behind a desk, you don't know what they need. And then who are you representing? Yourself?
That is true, because a lot of
exactly
people...
my point. Thank you for confirming it.
Because again, we have to, I don't want to, again, they say, well, you're a Trump fanatic, but draining the swamp, we have to get these theocrats, these career politicians, that all they want to do is they want to be in politics to satisfy their own personal agenda with the possible pretense of helping the community. And again, there in Soto. Again, I'm going to call out some people. What's this guy? The guy that there in Soto beat that he had problems with the wife. What's his name? He was a congressman. That the wife, Alan Grayson, Dina Grayson. You know, the Graysons. Thank God the Graysons are out of here.
Republicans want to kill you.
Yeah, you know. Oh well, you know the thing of it is that like President sent about the Alabama Senate race. We shouldn't have lost that seat, that congressional seat, but we need to entice candidates that understand what is their position, what they need to do, where they need to connect. They can't tell me, oh, I ain't got no money, so why are you running? I ain't got no time, why are you running? I don't know why this ain't working, why you running? Because the only person that can be held accountable at the end, when all the votes are tallied, is the candidate. Whether your message is weak, whether you didn't follow the blueprint, whether you didn't listen to the pulse of the people. Si ustedes no escuchan la voz, la conciencia del pueblo, o como candidatos, ustedes pretenden ganar.
Well, I want to interject on that point, and I think that one of the problems in politics is the amount of money that goes into it. Yeah. So you can run for office and not have money. I don't have no money. I don't have money to pour into a campaign, and I don't got.
Not my fault.
And no, I didn't have any money before I met you. But the truth of the matter is, there's a lot of people who will say, and I'm talking about both sides of the coin. Mm-hmm. Democrat and Republicans alike have told me, "Oh, you need this amount of money. You need that amount of money." Why do I need 2 or 3 times the amount of the salary of the job I'm applying for in order to win the seat? There's some corruption there. We need to take the money out of politics. We need people to wake up and research your candidates and vote for the guy who's doing the back-breaking work.
Exactly.
Amen.
Yeah.
Woo!
Azúcar, azota. And Gus, you're right. The problem is, again, it's like trying to pass the fair tax plan. A lot of people want to abolish the IRS, but there are people that are working against that grain. You're right. We should take money away from the equation, yet the Congress passes earmark resolutions to cancel that. So in other words, okay, we'll police ourselves about the money, don't bother us. Okay, well, people get richer, super PACs get established, people get into it. And look what President Trump did. With very little money and very little donations, small donations, and very little from his money, he became president of the United States.
You know, I do have to add to that. And it is my testimony with changing rooms that money doesn't make the difference.
No.
Why? Because all this time, Changing Room has done so much for the community just with $339 donated to our organization. $339, and we've been serving thousands of people. Now, of course, this year we have to make the money because we're growing tremendously. So it's not about the money; it's about what you do with the resources that they give you.
Exactly.
And
that's
if you can build anything with hard work and dedication. Because money doesn't do it. There's a lot of organizations out there that they get thousands and thousands of dollars just to go out and hug a tree one time a year. One time a year.
Hugs are free.
Yes, and hugs are supposed to be free, but no, with these grants, they're getting thousands of dollars, man.
Our pins say it, hugs are free somewhere. It says it's right here.
They get thousands of dollars to I don't know, just caress a bald spot for once a year. You know, that's how humanitarian work. But the people that are working hard every day for that community, we do it out of our own pockets. We don't get those grants, we don't get that support, and we still make it happen. So money does not make the difference. Hard work and dedication to the community does.
And it's true, having that passion, teniendo esa pasión y esa dedicación a la comunidad y querer servir al prójimo. O sea, Fue una experiencia muy buena y Gus, te agradezco muchísimo que tú me hayas invitado a Help the Homeless porque yo me parece en ese escenario. I stood up in ese escenario and I poured my heart out and it was funny and we did what we had to do. But
And look at that event. How much would you say we spent on that event?
Sincerely, I couldn't say because I know that I
Take a guesstimate.
$300.
No, we spend about $1,700 on the venue. No, $2,200 on the venue and whatnot. But a lot of that, you're not taking into consideration the turkeys, the cooking, the clothes, the haircuts,
My back.
the performances, all of that. I mean, that a venue of that magnitude would have been at least $10,000. And it all came together with less than $2,000 or $3,000 we collected.
Such a successful event.
And a lot of it came from people with generous hearts who just wanted to participate in the community.
Yeah, and that was true. And I could see it in the faces. I could see it in the people that we entertained and the people that we touched. You know, thousands of people got fed that day. Thousands. Literally thousands. You know, and it was one of the most beautiful days. God gave us the most beautiful, perfect day. Yes, it was a little bit hot, but you know what? It was good. I had to take off my jacket, but no problem. I had a jacket on, and I got tired at one point, and I know one of the singers was singing, and I just sat down on top of one of the speakers, and I got to catch my breath, but it was a very beautiful. As I said, I'm 54, going on 55, so yeah, I need my rest. I lost my hair. I need my rest. But the good thing of it is it was to make sure that people laughed, to make sure that people danced, and I think we did that, and we fed them, and we gave
how much
clothing.
did we get paid for that?
I didn't need to get paid for
Not
that.
a darn thing.
How much did we get paid?
Not a darn thing.
I didn't have to get paid for that.
That's how much I got paid, right there.
I got dinner out of it at work.
I got a T-shirt. That was cool. I'm still using the T-shirt. And they ask me about the T-shirt every time I put that T-shirt on. And it says, "Well, look, get the information from the back. I passed on your phone number to a couple of people."
I appreciate it.
So because the thing of it is that we do have a homeless problem.
Yeah, we don't want to turn out like California.
And no, and that gentleman told me that he had passed time in Skid Row, which was to me is one of the scariest places in Los Angeles.
I've been all over, and I
you
took
know,
my hat off to it.
And the thing of it is I think there's two balances. We understand we can't go back to the asylums of the 50s and 60s, and we can't just give them a home. We can't give them a place where they don't feel
It requires counseling.
that requires counseling. We need to kind of generate the communication. And I don't know if this is county level, so I'm going to defer to the two candidates here. Can candidates of county level, can they help with the situation of homelessness? Can they?
I'm going to turn the mic over to Gina because she's been too quiet.
Government can never fix anything. However, government should get out of the way of non-for-profits and make the resources that are the people's resources available so that we can make change. Get out of the way of the churches, get out of the way of the institutions. If you have property that can be rented for $99 or 99 cents a year, which can be done, then
Really?
for non-for-profits,
we're working out
for
of a storage
non-for-profits, then let's put that information out there. That's the basic problem we have. You know, it's a maze out there, and it's hard for people to get the information. And it's hard for the non-for-profits, the small ones that are starting up, that are right there in the middle of the battleground to help people in our community. We need to have that information easily accessible. There goes transparency. You started with transparency, back to transparency. Let's use technology, put that out there. We have websites. Why are the websites so horrible to follow and find anything?
Orange County's website.
Commissioners. That's why we have people in power. When you go to a commissioner and you say, "Hey, listen, our organization is helping thousands of people. We're working out of a storage unit, man. We need a place that we can grow. We can bring volunteers to work. We are doing so much with so little from independent companies that are helping our organization, and we don't get a response. We don't get nothing. We don't even get an acknowledgement."
That's why we need to vote.
Yep,
That's maybe why we should gather outside these meetings and let the people hear the voices.
That's true. That is true too. There's 2 points. One point that before I forget, in Scotland, correct me if I'm wrong. We cannot go back to the 50s and 60s type asylums.
No, because that's how we got homelessness in the first
Exactly.
place.
So basically, we have to try and make sure that government does not interfere. So that means we have to drain a bit more the swamp so we could cut the red tape, so we could have more. Well, what I said in my past show with Thomas, we have to try and engage with the government. Say, okay, here's the private sector. What can you do to help me solve the problem of the homelessness? Like Paloma says, if they need a place to grow, what churches can do to help Paloma get a house or someplace? Yep. Second of all, Gina, you're right. We live in, and we do live. Look, we live with technology. We live with technology. Who thought that we would be carrying a small computer? 22 years ago, I was carrying a beeper. That was my only part of a text, was a beeper. And now we have this phone. This phone you see here, this phone has more memory capability than the computer that brought men to the moon and back. Right here.
And let me take you a little bit further back. Hold on. I'm gonna take you a little bit further back. You tape 100 of those phones together, and you still don't have the weight or the size of the first 10 megabyte hard drive for a computer.
Exactly. So the technology.
My phone's a 64 gigabyte.
Yeah, or the first handy. You know, it was. Look at that.
I know the people that are listening to us they're not seeing what I'm showing. I'm going into my page changingrooms.org, and today we have one of our angels. He is one of our leaders in the homeless community. He is a homeless person himself, and not only homeless, but he has disabilities. He can hardly walk. He comes in, pick up for himself, and he just left our changing rooms location with 3 bags for 3 different other homeless people. He's out there working the community, and he loves that. In our events, he goes and volunteers. Why? Because we don't do handouts. These are human beings just like you and I. They have potential. We just have to find out what their strengths are and work on that. Exactly. And make them to be useful in the community according to those strengths that they have to offer.
But it's like Gina says, and interacting to what Gina says, we still need to utilize technology to the part, and we do have to have people. I asked Thomas, do we need more caseworkers? We could create jobs. Yeah. We're talking about trying to eliminate, and to Paloma's effect, if we could train these people to help other people.
It can be happening. Changing Room is doing it every single day. We recruit angels in the community, and we're using the same people that need help. We're using them to help others. Right now, we just put a girl from Puerto Rico that got left out in the cold with no place to go because of another homeless leader that's out there in a bus and calls me, hey, listen, we got this lady, she doesn't have a place to stay. And we were able to put her in a hotel room because of another homeless lady that took the opportunity to help another person. If we empower them to give back to the community that constantly giving them something, believe me, we will have an army that is going to fix all the homelessness and all the problems that we have. Because like she said, government does not help. Yeah. We do. Because if we don't start changing ourselves, how can we expect anybody else to do anything? We have to do it ourselves.
So Gus, in Scotland, do you think that when we speak to these candidates and we speak about homelessness, first you Gus and then Scotland, do you think that these candidates might get nervous? Not you, Gina, because I know that you're a part. I'm talking to the other candidates.
Well, I can tell you,
and I'm going and to tell you the truth, Demings. Because I know Pete Clark talks about homelessness. Yeah. Demings, the rest of the group packing 4, the rest of the packing 3. Even let me go as all the way down to school boards. Do you think these candidates feel comfortable talking about homelessness?
Well, let's stop there for a second. School boards already know that 3 out of every 10 children in a classroom are homeless.
Yes,
they already know that. They know it so much that they've establishing some kind of support system in the schools, but they're not letting us into them because we have to go through a process, obviously. Now, as far as other candidates talking about homelessness, I I can't think of many who have ever come. And I've been doing this since 2010.
Yeah.
I've done about 30 large collaborative community events. I go out to the streets every 2 weeks since 2010 without barring any. All right. I haven't seen any of them come out with me.
Scotland, yourself, do you think that any of these candidates aside from your mom, mayoral or not, do you think they could be intimidated by the topic of homelessness?
I think they become uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they've become so accustomed to a certain way that that's their answer to everything is, oh, when I become elected, I'll fix the problem. But in reality, they don't know how to fix the problem. They just know what's been done before. And if you elect people who have the connections of the same people, you're going to get the same results. And nothing's ever going to be changed.
So that means the poop bowl is going to get pushed down the road.
Because
Yes.
it's not pretty.
No.
It's not chic.
No.
It doesn't look good on pictures. When you take a picture with a homeless guy, it doesn't look good. So because it's not pretty, they don't want to deal with it. They just want to push it to the side.
But it's two issues.
Uh-huh.
You have the homeless, but then you have those who are a step away from becoming homeless. And so it's a two-pronged process. You have to be able to address those people who are technically not considered homeless because they're staying at a hotel and they're living in families.
Good point. This HUD doesn't consider them
Homeless under the law, and you have to catch and be there so that they don't become fully homeless. I mean, desperation and hopelessness, it's not a good formula. Mm-hmm. And so that's where people like Paloma, Guz, it's a two-prong. It's catch them before they get to that stage, and when they're there, catch them so that if they want to be part again, we can help them be part again and not be permanently our little box that we put aside and we don't see them because they're behind the bushes or they're in a corner where it's not seen by our tourist and where it doesn't make my property value go down. Yep. So we have to talk about it. Otherwise, things don't get better. And it's uncomfortable, but it's the reality of how things have to be. A beginning. We have to talk about it, and there's just two-step. Prevention, and then after there, to try to get them back in to us. Because we're better, we're more as a society. Mm-hmm. It's not that they necessarily, and this is my philosophy, it's not that they need us. We need them as a society. We are less when they need. Mm-hmm. When a part of your body is hurting, your entire body is hurting. Mm-hmm. And that's the same thing with the homelessness. We need them. We need them to be back and productive and have hope because they contribute. They have so much.
And we can make it pretty. We can make it pretty. Listen, I am crazy. Let me tell you that. I am crazy.
Not.
I am not
running.
I am
she
not
married me, of course
running
she's
for
crazy.
president, but I should because I am crazy. Only crazy people change things around. And a lot of people concentrate on what they are. How about what you are?
Well,
change what you are. Changing rooms, when we do give out our clothing, we don't put it in a box or in the floor in a bag so they can go into them like if it was garbage. I do not allow my people to go in and dig into clothing like it is garbage. Why? Because they are not less than I am. Nope. I see my brothers and sisters the same way I see you or I see the president of the United States of America. And let me tell you, if you give them the stuff that they need with dignity, they will react and act the same way towards you and the community.
That is true.
But you have to show them that kind of dignity first. If you're gonna treat them like animals, they're gonna act like animals. If you're gonna treat them like human beings and act with them as if they were your brothers, they're gonna act in La Queola. You saw all those closets. There was not even one piece of clothing in the floor.
Nope.
And we served thousands of people.
Hey, Ian Dare just came online, and Ian was with us over there in Katy, Texas, and he saw how hard we worked. He helped us over there in Katy, Texas, and we have a solution for this. You know, and I'm going to take another minute here, but we had a solution. We have a solution for this. I presented it. I wrote a letter to Mayor Buddy Dyer several years ago.
Tell us about it.
All right, and I asked him, hey, you offered Food Not Bombs the Sylvia Lane parking lot during 2 court cases, and they turned it down because it was inadequate. Give me the 2 parking lots. Make sure I got a water hookup and a electricity hookup, and I guarantee you, I will take 80 people off the street immediately. All I had to do was set it up like military barracks, and people would be off the street. I would have got them jobs and made them productive members of society. We got a slew of abandoned houses. We got a slew of abandoned warehouses and buildings. We got homelessness because of greed. There's no other reason for it. You know what? I approached Mayor Teresa Jacobs, and the same thing. They'll give you their little, oh, that's really great, that's awesome, but they're not doing a damn thing.
Because their mentality is that they're gonna make it ugly. That if you give them a mansion, they're gonna turn it into a dumpster in less than a day. Yeah. Not if you take the time to train them and reinstall them into the community, reinforce their strength. Okay, if you're gonna give them a house, let them paint it. Let them take care of it. If they can't take care of it, if they can't paint it and they can't keep it clean, out. Then you live in a garbage can.
That's one of my proposals. You know what eminent domain is?
Yeah.
We have the power through the process of eminent domain. Correct me if I'm wrong, Gina. Through eminent domain, we can go and reclaim these houses that have been abandoned, that are being used as crack houses, that are being used as prostitution houses, and return them into affordable housing. We have the power to do that.
And you know why we have the power? Because we're going to use the same people that need them to reestablish those houses. Okay? How about not me? Why me? If they need the house, they have 2 hands and 2 feet and two power muscles, just like I do. Let's go together and fix that house so you can live in it.
And instead of giving them a voucher for hotels, give them a voucher to Home Depot to fix it.
Exactly.
Well, unfortunately, eminent domain is not that easy or that simple. You have banks, you have owners, you have estates. So it makes it very complicated because we're talking about the Constitution and property rights, and I'm a big constitutionalist here, and Florida has one of the strongest property rights there are. But there are properties there's other ways to do this. For example, if we went ahead and did, for example, tiny homes. Okay, Texas is doing tiny homes for veterans and homeless individuals.
That's good.
But the problem is we have our impact fees make it such that nobody wants to really invest in tiny homes. There's a lot of people who go from apartment complexes and can no longer afford and end up being on hotels and then end up being homeless because there's no affordable housing. And if you think about, there is a population that if incorporated, and you can transition them into working and getting back into the society. Right now, you went in 1 bedroom, it's like $1,300. Yeah. Who's going to afford $1,300 a month on an $8 an hour or $9 an hour? You can't. And right now in Osceola, they froze the new construction going on over there. And so where we're going to have affordable housing. And you can't, and projects really have never been a really good solution either. So we have to, I believe that the solution is not necessarily the county giving, but the county getting out of the way so that less red tape, less impact fees, so that non-for-profit can go ahead and be able to do these things. Because you look at the person not as a number, not as how you're going to get more money into your budget, or how you're going to buy more votes. Yeah. And a non-for-profit sees one life at a time being changed. So churches and non-for-profits can get into business of maybe changing these homes, buying properties at really cheap prices, or if they've been condemned by the county, then they can get involved and do this. But I don't think if you make the government get involved in this whole business,
it could backfire.
It's just going to backfire because they're never really great at doing solving problems.
They might not be, but you know, a lot of organizations. No, they're not. A lot of organizations, they use applications. These people are an applicant. They're a piece of paper, name, address, social security number. They're not really seeing the need, how they can really make a change in their life. They're just gonna grab that information and just throw something at them. In this case, what we want to do is we want to find out who really wants the change and the positive impact in their life. And the only way that we're going to find out is by seeing their reaction when you offer them to work for what they get. And let me tell you, I do this every single day in changing rooms. I have people that calls me, hey, I need help. And I said, well, our organization, what we do is we recruit angels to work the community. Would you like to join us and work in the community? I can. I have to go home and watch La Novela at 5 o'clock. Okay, ma'am, come and pick up some type of donation, and then after that, you're on your own. When I say that to somebody that says, I'll be there at 3 to help you process clothing, listen, even the shirt that I got on my back, I will take it off and give it to her.
No, honey,
and I will
don't come home naked.
And I will spend my time and my effort in working with people that they want to give to others, and they want to get out of that hole. And these same people, if we treat them, if we access that need like that, we can identify who will grab that little house and paint it and clean it and rehabilitate it so him and maybe another family can live in it.
But let me give you an example. Let's look at the elderly housing, okay? I was looking at some of these places, not nursing homes, not assisted livings, okay? And some of these places, you look at a studio, they just opened one up on how, or they're opening soon. One studio starts about $3,800. Yes, they have nurses and they have other things, but compare that to places that have been built by churches to provide affordable housing for the elderly. And they manage to do it okay, and they can do it, and they meet that need. Why? Because they're there to serve, first of all, and they're not there to make a profit, and they can have a direct impact with the person. So imagine that same concept with non-for-profits being able to help individuals rather than the government saying, oh, here, have this or have that. Because when you make that connection with that person, it's a one person and one person connection. It's not just a number or an applicant like with the government. And so I just think we have to look at what the county resources are. What do these non-for-profits need? And what do they need the county to do to get out of the way?
That should be the question.
If I can add something to that, here's the problem with giving all the homeless money to
an
organizations, which currently happens, by the way. It's going through United Way, through 211, through
Habitat for Humanity.
No, not Habitat. Habitat is doing good things.
Yes.
But there's organizations out there who are getting all the money for homeless, and it's not filtering downward. And unfortunately, it's
a lot of non-for-profits.
Look at the CEO salaries, man. Go online.
Goodwill.
Figure it out.
Goodwill CEO.
Goodwill Industries.
Millions of dollars.
Oh, come on. I went to Goodwill and I went to Salvation Army 1 year where I got a $500 check. I said, "Here, I got a $500 check to buy coats for the homeless." And that's exactly what I want to do. I need you to work with me. No, I'm sorry. And on top of that, they charge me tax.
They had $2 teddy bears for an event, and they wanted to charge me $2. And I said, "Can you give it to me for $1?" No,
they will not give anything to the homeless. And I'm sorry to say, I know the Homeless Coalition hates my guts because it was me who was taking pictures of the concrete floor and the nasty showers and publish it and wrote articles back then. So yes, I know they hate me, but at $240,000 a bed for what, a 200-bed building, sorry. That's a failure. Just like tiny homes, it's way too expensive for one single person. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. We need to find a better solution. I think we need to sit down and make some exceptions in some of the code and allow some of these buildings to be converted into temporary housing. Yes, there's a lot of things that need to happen. Our system is broken. Our bipartisan system is a failure, and I am a strict believer that we are going to go through a transition and people will start looking at who they are voting for.
Well, let me just interject. Gina, you want to say your goodbyes, or we're about 4 minutes? We will see you.
I'm good. Well, I'll see you.
Yep, and sometime next week we're going to be talking to you.
Expect me, I'll be there.
Yep, you'll be there. Gus, you want to say your goodbyes, brother? We're coming up in a couple of minutes to closing.
Hey, I'm going to ask you to connect to me on Facebook, Guz Martinez. Connect to my group, Miles of Help Through Christ. You can find my wife, Paloma Martinez, in changing rooms. We are working every single day tirelessly. For the first time last week, we took last year at the end of the year, we took a couple of days off. And Jay, we're happy to be here whenever you need us here. We're happy to speak on behalf of the community because we're here to represent the community. And I just want to thank all of your viewers, everybody watching Facebook Live. I love you all. God bless you. God first in everything. See you soon.
All right. And basically, Scotland, I just want you to announce again that you are going to be considering the co-host position. We welcome you. This is your first co-host, so give me your little bit of insight. You like it? You don't like it? Come on, tell me. I can take it.
I love it. I love that there's communication. I love that it's not just one person speaking at the camera, but it's a dialogue. It's a whole bunch of people putting their input together and coming up with a solution. And that's how things need to be done. Not one person just speaking over everyone else, and not one person just speaking to people, but speaking to each other.
That is true. Again, it is my commitment to make Listen to Me a place where people can listen. Yes, because there are a lot of things, and again, what I wanna pledge here is that I'm not gonna let go about the homeless situation. I'm not going to let it for the mayoral candidates. I'm not going to let it for the commissioner candidates. Not even school board. Even school boards do know what's going on. I think we have to keep on talking about it. We have to even go in debt in Scotland. That's where we're going to be talking a little bit more. Paloma,
human trafficking.
Even human trafficking. Yeah. I had Betty Amador here who talked about domestic violence, human trafficking. We're going to have those guests in English and in Spanish again. So you're going to be learning your Spanish here. Arroz como fongo. You're going to be getting that. So 2018 with you, Scotland, and here and Listen to Me, we're going to be launching a new phase. We are going to be moving more to community events, politics. We have the debate on the 30th. We have other candidates that will be coming in. Gus, my brother, will always be coming over. Paloma, your passion and your emotions, I needed that for a while. So I need you to make sure we could. I know you're a busy woman, so I'll talk to your secretary and have him pencil in your.
I was intending to share my chocolates with you guys, but on the way over, I kind of ate them all.
Wow,
that's me in a nutshell.
That's why you were so emotional in the beginning, passionate. Yes,
I must have ate like 10 Ferreros.
And imagine if she had not eaten those.
Yeah, she would have been a little bit more subdued.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Hey, and let me tell you, I am not political in any way.
No, you've always once I told you that this show was going to be political, Paloma was very straight with me. Says, "No, I'm not a political person," but she's always commented when she always gave me this common sense woman, his Latina woman. She gave me a piece of her mind, but she always gave me a piece of a positive common sense mind.
I get that every day.
Wow, you're a lucky man. But
with
that's
la
why
chancleta.
With la chancleta, the fastest chancleta in Gus's house.
With a GPS system.
With a GPS, it turns corners. But again, that is what Listen to Me. And Gina, I'm very happy that you're here, and once you become commissioner, because I always like to project that positivism. Gus, once you become commissioner, this is your home, and when
if it comes to community service, nobody can beat me.
Hopefully we could have you once you become commissioners. We could have you here integrate a little bit more with Radio UNT because Miguel Montes has always been good to me. February, we're approaching our year of finally being 1 year on the air, so we're going to be celebrating a lot of things throughout February. Not only El Día de los Enamorados, not St. Valentine's Day, but we're very grateful 2018 has a lot of things to go. Don't miss the debate on the 30th of January. Please be on the lookout of Facebook, both Scotland's and mine. Follow Gina's Facebook, Guz's Facebook, Changing Room. And you know what, people? Mi gente, los amo mucho. You know, in Puerto Rico, I always have you in my heart. Venezuela, te tengo en el corazón también. Colombia, everybody that is listening to us in the 71 countries. Yes, Gus.
El gobernador está aquí el viernes.
Oh, Governor Rosselló is going to be here on Friday. I'll be working, but you guys could kind of cover it, and we'll talk about that. But believe me, we'll have some sound bites, or I'll talk to the Office of Puerto Rican Affairs in Washington, D.C. and says, hey, give me the governor. Who knows if we could get him and listen to me? Eso sería un palo. Anyway, this is it for this Tuesday. Scotland, thank you so much. Mi gente, J. Jesus Rodríguez Caballero, this is the award-winning show, Listen to Me. Nosotros estamos aquí para ti. Listen to me. Nos vemos el martes. Mucho amor.
Bohemia 2, marzo 16. Las puertas abren a las 8 p.m. y el show comienza a las 8:30. Entradas $15 en la puerta y por Eventbrite $10. Eventbrite.com $10. En la puerta $15. Si quieres el buffet, son $13 adicionales en la puerta. No te lo pierdas, habrá música, comedia, artistas del patio y internacionales. No te lo pierdas en Café Mineiro, 8204 Crystal Clear Lane, Suite 1700, Orlando, Florida. Café Mineiro Brazilian Steakhouse en la 8204 Crystal Clear Lane. Bohemia 2, la extravagancia continúa.